Leader of Scottish Labour is with us. Hello.
How are you?
How's conference been?
Fantastic, although I'm now getting to the stage of conference voice, so squeezing every last bit of energy and adrenaline out of myself.
We've all had conference cold, no sympathy as far as that's concerned. How did the leader's speech go yesterday? And more importantly, how did a demonstrator get so close to him?
Well, look, I think that's obviously of huge concern, and I'm sure the right people are looking at that. But I actually think the way Keir handled that situation, I think said something great about him, but also about the values of the man, who stood his ground. He demonstrated leadership. He looked like a statesman, rolled the sleeves up and got on with it. And I think you heard a speech from someone that should be Prime Minister of this country, but we've got to make sure we do the work to make that happen.
Your tail's up because of the by-election result, but as we well know, and you've been in politics for long enough to know that by-elections don't necessarily convert to general elections.
Look, of course, an incredible result, and I actually think it will be remembered as a historic result where Scottish politics tipped right over. And we've changed the face of Scottish politics, but feet on the ground, we've still got a hell of a lot of work to do. We've climbed a mountain so far, but we've still got another mountain to climb. And we've gone from 32 points behind the SNP to winning our first parliamentary by-election for 12 years, getting double the SNP vote, a swing of more than 20%, but we've still got work to do. And with hard work and humility, we're going to reach out to people, try and earn their trust, earn their support, so we can transform the country.
And doubled your number to 2.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you've got a long way to go.
But that emphasises the scale of the challenge. But I think if you look at where we were and where we're going, I'm really, really confident the best is yet to come. And I honestly believe that Scotland will lead the way in delivering a UK Labour government.
Talk to me about the situation in Israel at the moment.
Look, horrific. And anyone with any humanity will look at the images and be horrified. There is never any justification for terrorism. There's never any justification for the loss of innocent lives. So, like most well-minded people, we unequivocally condemn the actions of Hamas. And the tragedy here is I actually think all of this makes peace harder rather than easier. And the tragedy we always hear when these things happen is people say, what about the peace process? There is no peace and there is no process. And unless we can get a genuine peace process where we can have security for the people of Israel and Palestine, where we can look at occupation and siege, but make sure everyone has the right to live with dignity, then we're going to see this continue to unfold, and it's utterly, utterly heartbreaking.
What about proportionality from Israel?
Look, of course, you have to urge people to behave in a proportionate way, to please follow international law. And look, that's all we can urge just now. I think it's deeply concerning about the water and the electricity and supplies being cut off for Gaza. Because I think the important thing to remember here is there are 2.2 million people in Gaza, and many of the people in Gaza themselves are victims of Hamas. People who have used that situation to do militant work and to act in do terrorism. And so I think that collective punishment of Gaza we must resist, and getting people to act in a proportionate way, of course, to stop this horrific violence and to move to a managed peace process has to be the outcome that everyone should surely want.
But I put that to the Defence Secretary this morning, and I also put it to your leader, Keir Starmer, and neither of them wanted to take the opportunity to offer support for the civilians in Gaza.
Well, look, I've not seen the interviews you're referring to.
Why do you think that is?
But look, I think what we have to separate is there has to be outright, unequivocal condemnation of terrorism and condemnation of Hamas. And there also has to be a desire from everyone as a good faith actor to get a managed peace process so we can see peace for Israel, security for Israel, but also peace and freedom for the people of Palestine. And through history, the UK and other international aid agencies have supported the people in Gaza and indeed in wider Palestine. And I think that humanitarian support must continue, but we've got to urge the terrorism to stop. Unequivocally, the terrorism has to stop. There has to be a peace process, because that's the only way you can try and give some people, and look, not many people are going to feel very hopeful right now. If you're living with rocket fire coming in from Gaza into Israel, you don't feel hopeful right now. You're fearing for your life. If you're living in Palestine and you see rocket fire coming in, you don't feel hopeful. You're fearing for your life. But unless we can get some hope back that one day we can find a peaceful resolution, then I just fear that the tragedies will continue and continue and continue.
Good to talk to you, Anas. Thank you very much indeed.